Doncic, Mavs beat foul-plagued Paul, Suns to even series 2-2. Dallas, AP, Luka Doncic tumbled toward the baseline after getting bumped by Chris Paul just before the halftime buzzer, the apprentice showing he has watched one of the masters at drawing fouls. The trick spurred a critical fourth foul on Paul, setting up the Dallas Mavericks to get even in the Western Conference semifinals. Doncic scored 26 points while helping Dallas take advantage of foul trouble for Paul to beat the Phoenix Suns 111-101 on Sunday for a 2-2 series tie. "I saw he was going for the rebound and I was surprised," Doncic said. "He said to me, 'Did I push you that hard?' I said, 'No, not that hard. But it was a smart play.' And he said, 'Yeah, I know.'" Paul ended up being out of game for early in the fourth quarter, the period when he often dominated the Mavericks during an 11-game winning streak that ended with consecutive home victories for Dallas. Game 5 is Tuesday night in Phoenix. Dorian Finney-Smith scored a playoff career-high 24 points on the most three-pointers he's had, regular season or playoffs. He was 8 of 12 from deep, including consecutive threes for a 14-point lead midway through the fourth. Dallas matched its 23s, 20 of 44, from a Mother's Day rout of the Los Angeles Lakers in 2011, a win that completed a 4-game sweep in the second round on the way to the championship. The Mavericks are playing beyond the first round for the first time since then. Devin Booker scored 35 points for the Suns, who dropped 2 straight on the road with a 2-0 lead just as they did in last year's NBA Finals. Milwaukee won the last 4 to take the title. Top-seeded Phoenix lost consecutive games for the first time in the playoffs. "Last year was a learning experience for us," Booker said. "We went to 6 games last year with the Lakers, 6 games with the Clippers, 6 with the Bucks, 6 with New Orleans. This year, we understand that it's a series. It's the playoffs for a reason." Turnovers were the story with Paul in Dallas' Game 3 win, when the 37-year-old had the most in any half of his playoff career with 7 before halftime. This time it was fouls, and it started when coach Monty Williams put him back in the game with 3 in the final minute of the first half. Williams had taken Paul out after his third at the 1:52 mark. Paul drove to try to score in the final seconds but left the shot short, then made the ill-fated decision to chase the rebound. "I've got to look back at it," Paul said. "I mean, I can't put myself in the situation to give them that ability to do that. I've just got to look at myself and figure out how to do better." Just 2.5 minutes into the second half, Williams had no choice but to use his challenge when Paul stopped and backed into Jalen Brunson as Paul started bringing the ball up the court. The 5th foul was upheld on review. The 6th also came against Brunson just a minute and a half after Paul had returned in the 4th. Paul finished with 5 points. "Everybody's got to take ownership, and it starts with me," Williams said. "I made some decisions tonight that put us in a tough spot. Should have kept Chris out of the game, especially right before halftime. And then as a team, we've got to take ownership as far as guarding the ball so we don't have to help as much." Booker kept the Suns close into the fourth quarter despite long stretches without his backcourt mate, but Doncic eventually wore them down with post-ups and other drives for buckets or assists. With the Suns down 6 midway through the fourth quarter, Doncic backed down the defense for a short bank shot, followed by Finney's back-to-back threes. Then the lead was back down to 8 when Doncic drove twice and kicked out to the three-point line both times. Reggie Bullock hit the first and Brunson the second for a 105-95 lead with 2:52 remaining. 8 of Doncic's 11 assists were on threes. "Luka told me when I had 5 threes, he told me, 'You're about to get some more,'" said Finney-Smith, who finished one shy of the Dallas franchise playoff record of 9 threes by Jason Terry in the Mother's Day rout of the Lakers. "When LD tells you you're about to get some more threes, I figured I was going to get some." Unhappy Paul. It was unclear what Paul was addressing after the game when he tweeted about a player's family being accosted by fans in Dallas. He wasn't asked about it by reporters after the game. "Wanna fine players for saying stuff to the fans, but the fans can put their hands on our families," Paul wrote before adding an expletive. The Dallas Mavericks are aware of an incident between a fan and the family of Chris Paul, the Mavericks said in a statement. "It was unacceptable behavior and will not be tolerated." The Mavericks, along with American Airlines Center, swiftly removed the fan from today's game. Tip INS. Suns, Crowder kept Phoenix afloat early when the Mavericks were shooting better than 60% from three, hitting a couple from deep. He finished with 15. DeAndre Ayton had 14 points and 11 rebounds. Mavericks, Finney Smith's 5 threes in the first half were his most in any half in his career, regular season or playoffs. Brunson scored 18 points. Davis Bertans started 4 of 4 from 3 and finished with 12 points.